Please introduce yourself.
So my name's Shane Bawley. I'm the Field Operations Manager for Intura. Out here we look after multiple scopes in the oil and gas industry and renewable energies. That's about all I've got at the moment.
How many people in your team?
Currently we've got about a dozen in the oil and gas industry. Those numbers will be doubling in the near future. We also have 50 to 100 people in the renewable space as well.
And how many people overall that work for Insurer these days?
It'd be up around the 150 mark at the moment, so yeah.
Fantastic. So I'm just going to look at this.
Fast.
Okay. All right. Were you happy with that as a start? Yeah, that's perfect.
Yep.
All right, it's really good. All right, no worries at all. Tell us, what was your role in relation to choosing the fleet of vehicles?
So once we got the information about the contract that we were starting work on, we started to look at what sort of vehicles and accessories we'd need on those vehicles. There was a few different options in regards to tool canopies. I had previous experience with Hidrives in other places as well, so they were on the list to look at. And once we started to look at the functionality and the storage and the quality aspect of things, it became apparent that we would go with Hidrive for all of our vehicles.
Fantastic. And what can you give us an idea of the sorts of things that your team are doing with these vehicles on a day-to-day basis?
So we have multiple scopes in the oil and gas industry that can be from facilities out into well sites. They can be general inspection sort of tasks, or they can be brownfields construction tasks, well site work, a lot of jobs that require different tools and equipment that we need safe storage for.
And what sort of geographical region would you be looking after at the moment with this new contract?
So currently we'd be working from Roma all the way down to pretty much Dalby, so yeah, a few hundred k's difference between those two.
Fantastic. I'll nudge you a tiny bit over. Yeah, just creep it a little bit over.
That's right.
Yeah, thank you. Please tell me about some of the key criteria you were considering when looking at service body manufacturers.
So probably the first thing we look at is quality. We want a quality piece of equipment that's going to last. A lot of the driving is on dirt roads and rough roads out here, so we need to think about dust ingress, vibration. We also need to think about making sure the tools are stored correctly and aren't getting damaged while they're in transit, and having the option of storing a lot of different small components as well, because a lot of these jobs are very isolated, so we need to have all the equipment available to us.
And can you tell me about perhaps the things that stood out when initially dealing with Hidrive? You mentioned you dealt with Hidrive a couple of times. What did you learn from perhaps dealing with Hidrive in previous roles?
So the previous use of Hidrives was with another company, and the thing that stood out for me from that period was the quality of the build. So the build was neat, tidy. We didn't see any wear and tear really on them in the years that I had them. So I automatically had a good reference point as to what we'd be getting.
A little bit. Yeah.
It
is pretty isolated, but yeah, can't hear the sun right away with it. This fleet rollout project, what's been your impression dealing with Hidrive over recent months?
So the whole process has been very good. We went through an initial phase of figuring out the items that we'd like in the canopies. The salesperson that we used was very helpful, showed us all the different options, gave suggestions for things that they thought might be suitable as well, which was excellent. And then post sort of figuring out exactly what we want, it transitioned smoothly into the production phase where we could track what was happening, which was excellent.
Fantastic. I noticed that in the past, this organisation has had a number of tool modules, so a box on each side of an open tray, and now you've upgraded to a full canopy you tell us a bit about the decisions behind upgrading from a tool module to a full canopy?
Yep, so the full canopy design gives us a lot of flexibility with security. Quite often these vehicles will be maybe kept overnight in remote places or even in town. It gives us a lot of security for expensive tooling that we can lock up with the central locking. And also it gives us a lot of flexibility with storage. So we can store sensitive items, we can store things that we need not to be damaged safely. We know that they're not going to get in the rain, they're not going to have dust ingress, they're not going to have all those sort of things. So it gives us that security.
And what are the sorts of experiences you've had with the tool modules? What sort of problems may have you experienced with those versus that's motivated you making the additional investment in the full canopy?
Single toolboxes and tool modules are hard to fit out with something that's as flexible as we need with the open canopy. The open canopy lets us move everything inside around to exactly how we want it. And again, it's safe and secure. So there's no, you're doing pretty well to break into one of these. So the smaller toolboxes can be popped open fairly easy.
Can you tell us about some of the specific things you like about the fit out that you've chosen for these? Some of the features that you're keen to see or you were keen to see?
Yep. So some of the storage items I like in these canopies are the smooth and secure operation of the drawers. So all the drawers latch shut fairly easily. You only have to bump them shut and they're locked. The small part storage with as the electricians will call it, like the bits of boxes, how they roll out. So we can store so many things in those vehicles, and there's no wastage of space. So everything is compacted in. There's no excess area around any of the drawers that's wasted. So yeah, it looks neat and tidy, and it's well set up.
Can you tell us about the quality standards that you're expected to have out there in the field?
Yep. So all of our clients out in the field have a high expectation of the safety components of these vehicles. So to bring a client to see these vehicles and already have all the markings for pinch points and load ratings for drawers, even all the GVM upgrade stickers, all the compliance stuff already there for the clients to see on the initial inspections before they go to site, makes our job easier because it makes the clients happy to see that straight away.
And I understand your organisation is an ISO 9000 compliant organisation.
Yep. So with our ISO compliance, we want to know that what we're putting out in the field is quality and has that same quality expectation as what we have with that accreditation. So to know that minimum standard is what we will receive makes things a lot easier for us.
Fantastic. And just if I can get you to answer that one more time.
Yep.
Just mentioning that we've got ISO.
Yep.
And Hidrive's got ISO as well.
Yep.
It just gave us that bit of extra certainty. That extra, it just helps us in terms. We've got contracts with major multi-billion-dollar organisations, and they expect a certain level of quality out of us, and we expect the same out of our suppliers, something like that.
Yep.
Just the ISO.
Yeah.
We've got ISO.
Yep.
Hidrive's got ISO.
Yep.
Yeah.
So a lot of the clients that we work for, hang on.
You work for big corporations.
Yeah. So working with a lot of the larger corporations that we work for requires us to have the ISO accreditation. So to know that Hidrive has that ISO accreditation as well gives us security, and we know what sort of quality we're going to get. We know that it's going to be a consistent product.
Absolutely. Definitely nailed it. All right. Let's talk about these roller drawers.
Yep.
You've gone with the roller drawers for obviously extra storage, but you've got that idea about foam inserts and all the rest. So what I'll do is we'll get a tight shot of opening them up later.
Yep.
If I can get your voice,
Yep.
to suit that. So maybe something along the lines of one of the things we're looking forward to doing on these, just to finish them off, is getting some foam inserts
Yep.
in the underbody rear roller drawers.
Yep.
Something like that. And then
Yep.
talk about whatever you want to talk about.
No worries.
One of the things we're looking forward to.
Yep. So one of the things that we're looking forward to with these canopy setups is the fact that we've got the rear drawers, underbody drawers installed. It gives us a lot of flexibility due to the space that's in there, that we've come up with a few different ideas. One of the safety improvements that we'll use for our field work is to get a hard foam laser cut insert put in there so that we can store our battery tools and torque wrenches safely. It removes a lot of issues with the tools being damaged or people putting their hands on tools that are still operational while they're in unsecured storage. But just that element of having some blank canvas in there gives us some flexibility to put those sort of ideas into the vehicles.
Fantastic. Yeah, no, that's really cool. Now it's a supplementary lock storage as well that you've invested in. It basically a dustproof cabinet.
Yeah.
So some specifics about that would be good.
Yep.
Because again, we're going to take a tight video shot of that.
Yeah.
So if you say something like, we've invested in the sealed lids
Yep.
for the rear roller drawers, and then talk about what you like about that. So
Yep.
we've invested in.
Yep. So one of the extras that we invested in was the sealed lid on top of the rear roller drawer. It gives us extra security for storage as it's lockable. It also stops dust migration for our expensive tools that we'll be putting in there. It also acts as, it also comes with load ratings on the drawer, so that it can be used as a workbench when it's rolled out with the drawer not open.
No, we happy with that? Yeah, that's great. Right. Fantastic. You're a natural. You're getting
Stop it.
No, seriously, you're getting this first or second take. You can rub your noses in it. It's like, I'm getting more views because I was better. You can rub your noses in it. Okay. In your experience, I'd like to get your thoughts on using service bodies on utes versus perhaps using vans.
Yeah.
I'll be keen to get your comments, given your industry experience. A lot of organisations are battling with the decision: do we get a fleet of vans and kit in that, or do we get a load of utes? I just keen to get your comments, given your experience in your industry, why you've chosen to go with four-wheel drive utes,
Yeah.
as opposed to why you might have chosen vans.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the reasons that we went with canopies. Oh, sorry. Yeah, yeah. So there's multiple reasons that we went with utes with the Hidrive canopies installed. We require vehicles that are four-wheel drive. We require them to be able to carry a heavy load, and we still need them flexible to be able to do what we want with the. Sorry, I need to start that again.
You're always wrong, mate. You're doing
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of the difference. The difference is mainly the four-wheel drive. And we can interchange these canopies like with as models change. I don't know if that's.
Yeah, absolutely. You can take these off and put them on inside utes.
Yeah.
You could use these on 3 or 4 utes in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah. They'll still put. I mean, the reality is that there are Hidrives out there that have done a million Ks.
Yeah.
Probably on their 5th ute.
Yeah.
But they've done a million Ks.
Yeah.
All we have to do is change 6 brackets.
Yeah. Okay.
And rewire it up.
Yep.
Reconnect it up.
Yep.
Means it's the ROIs there.
Yep.
Versus a van, you pretty much got to leave it all in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because otherwise you've got holes everywhere.
Yeah. I guess so. The main reason that we use the four-wheel drive utes with the canopies, it gives us the flexibility to interchange the canopies between vehicles. So if we need to upgrade to a newer vehicle, the canopy can be interchanged onto the newer vehicle.
No, you're doing it well. What's been your impression from dealing with Hidrive in your experience? My impression for dealing with Hidrive through this process has been
excellent. All the information that I've needed throughout the build process has been readily available. We've been sent emails with a live schedule tracking the completion dates for these vehicles, which has given us security to know that we'll be able to have them before the kick-off date of the contract.
Well, that's cool. We can keep rolling from whenever you're ready to draw.
What else was there? Oh yeah, Hidrive also gave us the opportunity to install IVMS systems through another contractor while they were at their workshop, which at the end of the day helped us out a lot with getting the vehicles here on time. So.
Fantastic. Tool modules. Just a comment about the Australian-made side of things and the peace of mind that will give you.
Yep.
For example, get spares.
Yep.
We can make spares.
Yep.
Jump in ute number 1, or your tradies can jump in ute 32. Doesn't matter.
Yep.
They're all kitted out the same.
Yep.
And you can get more made in the future if you win more contracts.
Yep. So I guess a priority for us when we're ordering equipment is to either buy local or buy Australian made. So Hidrive being Australian made, it's an easy choice to go with Hidrive. The quality of the build is reflected as soon as you open it up and have a look, and you've got that security of knowing that any of the parts that you need in the future are going to be easily accessible.
Fantastic. All right. The other comment, again, only say it if you feel like it makes sense to you.
Yep.
One reason I've heard people talking about, I just haven't had it on camera yet because I'm relatively new to this role, that I'm keen to get on film someone saying is about the resale factor.
Yeah.
The fact that it's a quality product that you'd expect to, as opposed to buying a cheap canopy in 3 years' time or 5 years' time or whenever the contract ends, you know, the resale value is a factor for us.
Yeah.
And that you've seen, you know, Hidrives, there's good demand for Hidrives in the second-hand market.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that they get better prices as opposed to something that's cheap and Chinese and already falling apart after 3 years.
Yeah.
I can speak with my own. I've actually spoken to Mannheim Auction Group and these sorts of mobs, and there's some evidence.
Yeah.
You know that there's a demand for this.
Yeah.
Tradies that have worked as subbies of subbies or whatever, and then they go out and create their own business. They actually want a Hidrive.
Yeah.
And so there's a bit of that goes on.
Yeah.
Just a thought of like resale is important to us, so we bought a quality product knowing that will help at the end of the lease. I don't know, maybe I'm stretching. If you don't feel confident, if it hasn't been a factor for you, don't worry about it.
Well, it probably hasn't yet. So
That's all right, that's fine. Anyway, because resale has been a consideration point for a lot of people have paid, they're having to pay a bit more knowing it's going to last and get resale at the end.
Yeah.
Depreciation factors. I'm just going through the rest of my notes here. For your application, have you considered service body trailer? I know you've got a service body trailer there. Pretend I don't.
Yeah.
For your application, have you considered service body trailers or trucks with service bodies on them?
Yeah. So the works that we complete out in the field are always evolving, so it's good to know that Hidrive also have the options of truck bodies as well. Oh, sorry, fuck that up. What are they called? Are they truck bodies or
just
service bodies for
we make
trucks?
Service bodies for utes, trailers, and trucks.
Yeah.
They're all called service.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I guess with our scopes that are out in the field, they're always evolving and there's always a need for new machinery. It's good to know that Hidrive will be able to assist with service bodies for trucks and trailers as well in the future. As at the start of the contract, we did review those and they're definitely something that we'd be interested in.
Fantastic. All right. You happy with how that came through?
Yeah, mate, yeah. We're running a bit short on time. Yeah, I'll probably get into the role.
Yeah. No, you're doing great.